Half of doctors in the UK are working in burnout. These are unofficial statistics shared with me by a colleague who surveyed all the doctors in his NHS trust. But here's the scary part. Most of them don't even realise it. Why? Because on the surface, their performance looks fine. But the widely accepted truth about burnout is that your performance starts to go down when you're in burnout. So how can this show up differently for doctors? So this is what I call borrowed performance. You keep showing up at work, you do the job, sometimes you excel, but you're borrowing that energy, you're borrowing that performance from other areas of your life, your health, your relationships, your home life, your hobbies. And the people who are the most important to you in life, well, they're the ones who pay the price. So on the outside, you look like you're coping. On the inside, you're running on fumes. So here's what's happening. Let me show you the stress performance curve. This is based on the Yerkes-Dodson curve published years ago. It shows what happens to your performance under increasing pressure. So if we look at the blue line, as the pressure increases, your performance will increase. We all need a little bit of stress to perform. I need a deadline to get anything done. But very soon, this will plateau out. Your performance will flatten and then you'll start to drop off the curve. And in burnout, many people find their performance reducing. But for doctors and people in high stakes jobs where often their identity is tied up in what people think of them, in how they perform at work, in what they do, they will carry on performing pretty well because they will be borrowing that performance from other areas in their life, like their relationships, their hobbies, their health, their well-being. So these are terrible while the performance at work is maintained. But this can't go on forever. Eventually, doctors reach this cliff and they crash. The author, Richard Duggins, calls this the burnout cliff. And it's very, very common in doctors. And of course, not just doctors, lawyers, teachers, executives, anyone in a high-stress role can find themselves borrowing their performance for work while life outside quietly falls apart. And burnout doesn't discriminate. And so many doctors don't notice until they hit the wall. Burnout isn't always obvious. It creeps in quietly and it hides behind good performance and then it takes you down. But the earlier you spot it, the more chance you have to stop the crash before it happens. So if you're wondering where you are on that curve, we've created a free burnout self-assessment toolkit. It'll show you exactly where you stand and what to do next. Download it using the link below. In the next video, I'll show you why the advice doctors get about burnout is often completely wrong.